Justice Hecht, let me say that I have served many years with your friend and my friend, John Cornyn. He credits you with 36 years of friendship, and I certainly appreciated your testimony. In those rare, glorious moments when he agrees with me, I'm going to credit you. Your friendship and inspiration for leading to that. So thank you for being here today. Ms. Nelson, these justice workers that you created in Alaska, apparently you had some help with state law in terms of those who might be prosecuted for practicing without a license and training the next class to step up. Can you give us any thoughts as to how other states ought to look at that? Turn on your microphone, please.
Sorry about that. Thank you for the question, Senator Durbin. So the Alaska Community Justice Worker model, so there are two things that are helpful that make it possible. One is that already Alaska has a very permissive, unauthorized practice of law statute. So across the nation, there are unauthorized practice of law statutes in every state, and they're uneven across the nation. Alaska's is very permissive. It essentially says that you shouldn't hold yourself out to be an attorney when you're not one and charge for services. So it prevents fraud, and then also says don't show up in court. So we had that going for us when we first started our program. And so we were able to develop training programs with assistance from from our partners at the tribally operated healthcare center, who were very they had already developed training programs for training healthcare workers, and so we were able to partner with them to develop training programs that would train our justice workers. And they were able to do that without violating the unauthorized practice of law prohibitions. However, if we wanted our justice workers to appear in court, which we do, we needed to get a waiver from the Alaska Supreme Court. And we were able to get that waiver in place. Alaska's Supreme Court passed that waiver at the tail end of 2022 with unanimous support from the Alaska Bar Association's Board of Governors and with support from our Supreme Court as well. And I think that the key to garnering that support from stakeholders across the board were a couple of things. When we set out to address our access to justice challenge, again, we looked at the facts and we understood that we could not solve the crisis that our community was facing with lawyer-only solutions. And so we took steps to include those who weren't lawyers in the process of addressing our access to justice challenges. And we were able to get buy-in from community members and understanding how the access to justice crisis was impacting people outside the legal system. With that information, yes.
I just thank you very much. I want to explore this because I think it's a great model and one that we ought to emulate in many situations, I hope even in my home state. Thank you very much for your testimony. Ms. Gonzalez, thank you. If you ever think you've had a bad day on this side of the table, listening to your story is an indication some of the battles that are being fought every single day by people with the courage like your own to protect yourself, your own dignity, but more importantly, your son, and to go to the lengths that most of us would find unimaginable. There you are in the trunk of a car with your son for 5 miles, hoping to escape and finally get a chance to have a decent life. That's what's at stake here. It isn't just a matter of who wins a lawsuit. It's a question of a person's life moving forward, your situation. Do I understand from your testimony that your son is now a big brother?
Yes, he is.
And you live in Chicago, nearby?
Yes, I do.
Well, good. I'm so glad that you're part of legal aid because your voice is very important to bring the reality of the experience of representing people with challenges like your own. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.